What's your environment like? Where do you live? Where do you work? And when you wake up every day, are you excited to live your life? And the reason I ask the question is, of course, there's a lot of people who would answer no, and they share with us every day, I don't like my life, I don't like where I live, I don't like my environment. But the great question, of course, is can you decide what your environment looks like? And the reverse of that, does your environment affect how you feel? So if you're having let's start with sleeping. If you don't sleep well, could it be a really good idea to check your bedroom, where you actually lie down to sleep? Do you have nice sheets? Do you have a nice doona or duvet? Do you have nice pictures on the walls? Do you listen to nice music? What's your environment like when you go to bed? When you exercise, do you exercise inside or outside? Do you look at nice things? I absolutely hate looking at four walls, so I love being outside. And even if I'm exercising inside, I'm exercising by a window so that I can see outside. This is actually my view from my office window when I'm running on my treadmill if it's too bloody cold outside. Now, at the moment, it's minus. The water on the taekwondo mats have actually frozen when I've cleaned them. So it's in a cold environment. And I share that with you because you have to decide what inspires you the most to exercise the hardest, to think the best, to think the most brilliantly and clearly. What inspires you to do what you need to do, and does the environment affect that? And then if you have a look at your current environment and you're not a happy person, or you're anxious or depressed or angry, could it be a really good idea perhaps to make some changes? Now, that could be the people that you've got in your life. It could be the colour of the paint on the walls. It could be the furniture that you've got. Whatever it is around you that isn't inspiring you. It's something that's been a really big driving force for me all of my life. I always put things around me that are going to make me feel good. Because people always say, Rowie, how do you feel good all the time? Because I choose to, and because I make sure that everything around me inspires me to look up. This is why I live in the South Island of New Zealand. Because you can't walk around with your head down here. You have to look up because the environment is so beautiful. The moon's just coming over the horizon, and the moon here is spectacular. The stars are spectacular. The sunrises and sunsets are spectacular, which forces me to look up, which means I have a really great environment. The next thing, of course, is that you've got great people in your life. I surround myself with, I've always got 4 puppy dogs, if not more. I've got a magnificent husband. And I only want people in my life, in my close circle of influence, who would add value to my life. So I'm asking very personally, if you are not in the headspace that you want to be in, if you're not thinking as clearly as you need to, if you're not overcoming challenges the way that you need to, if you have to come up with better ideas, if you have to be more optimistic, all of those things that are really important to a great life, what does your environment look like? And is it something that you can change? And it doesn't have to be expensive. It's not like, oh, I've got to go and buy a new house or I've got to buy new furniture. It might be that you've got to put a bright coloured rug over the current furniture. It might be that you need to get a cheap print from one of the discount stores to put on the wall, but it's something that you really love. I surround myself again with animals, with books, with people who have achieved. So all the posters, all the memorabilia in our house, all the books, everything we look at, every single wall, everything about our home is designed to be inspiring. Now, the other thing that's really interesting, if somebody came into your life and you weren't there, how would they describe you as a person? Because I always ask this question, who are you? What do you stand for? What would you die for? What are your core values? And then pick 5 words to describe you as a person. And those 5 words that you're using, does your environment live and breathe that? So if somebody came into your home, into your office, into any area that you inhabit, and you're not there, would they be able to tell what kind of person you are? So if you come to our house, obviously this is an outdoor training area for martial arts. It's pretty obvious that someone at this household must do martial arts because there's martial art mats on the ground outside, there's a boxing bag, there's boxing equipment. If you come into our house, there's chin dip bar, there's weight training equipment, I have a cross trainer and a tread desk, and I have a treadmill. They're all things designed to keep me healthy, fit and strong for the rest of my life. So I think if you came into our house, it'd be pretty obvious what kind of people lived here. So when somebody comes into your environment, and whether that's they look into your gym bag or they have a look at your car or they have a look at the third drawer in your kitchen or any part of your life, are those areas representative of the kind of person you are? And to me, that's really important, and not because other people are going to look into my life. But if I'm telling myself that I'm a certain kind of person, I want to live my life that way in every area of my life. Now, you, of course, can do whatever you bloody well want to, but I'm just sharing that with you because I do get accused on a very regular basis of being happy, of being positive, of being disciplined, of getting stuff done, of being successful, of being financially free, of having a career that I love. It's almost like people accuse me of that stuff. Oh, it can't happen for everybody. Well, you could say that it can't happen, or what if you put the things into place that could make it happen? What if your environment was conducive, it's a big word, for you to look up? What if you had an environment around you that had happy, positive people? You played positive music. At our house, we don't watch the news. We don't listen to the radio. We don't have negative people at our house. None of that exists. So it's really easy to be a happy, positive person because our environment forces us to be that way. And that's an interesting thing to consider. Do you become a great person and then have a great environment, or do you create a great environment and that helps you become a happy, positive person? And I don't know the answer to that. All I know is I want more people to have a big, happy smile on their face. I would love more people to be healthy, fit and strong, have a career or business that they love, be financially free, have only respectful, kind, gorgeous people in their life, and have an environment that inspires you to get up. One of the things that the neuroscientists, psychologists and psychiatrists always share with us is one of the main reasons that people are depressed is a lack of control and a lack of purpose. If you've got no reason to get up, if you've got somebody else controlling your life, telling you when to work, how much money you're going to be earning, when you can go on holidays, all of those things can be very dangerous for your headspace. I'll just put it that way. And that's not me saying that. That's the psychologists and psychiatrists. The ones that share, yes, you can have a feeling of satisfaction. Yes, you can feel good about yourself, but you've got to create the environment to do that. So here's a great question. What could you do today? What changes could you make in your life this minute that would make you feel better just because you're looking at something? So if you love animals, could you buy an animal picture? If you love sport, could you buy a great book about sport? Could you watch a great video about somebody that inspires you? All of those things add to our headspace. The reverse of that, if you listen to the negative news, if you listen to the radio that's full of other people's opinions that are usually negative as well, if you read the newspaper, which is full of really dramatic headlines about all the terrible things that happen in the world, and I always share that with complete respect because I completely get that the media is a business. They have to make money, and if they don't give us crappy information, most people won't watch the news or read the newspaper. So we get to choose that though, don't we? We get to choose whether we listen to the negative stuff or we listen to the positive stuff or create our own positive stuff. And one of the things about fresh air and sunshine and exercise, and I've got my gardening gloves on because I'm out here in the garden, I'm constantly changing the outdoor training area to make it better. I want to have an environment around me that when I look out the window, it excites me. When I'm in the training area, it excites me. And obviously K-Man trains out here and he's a current world champion and is continuing to train for world championships, which is pretty bloody cool when you're nearly 60 years of age. I'm sharing all of that with you because we get to choose who we hang out with, where we live, what we do for a living. And if you think that you can't change those things, one of my favourite quotes is this for that particular experience: you are not a tree. You can uproot yourself and go wherever you want to. Now, this particular property where we live happens to have no trees, and there's a reason for that. I didn't want any trees on my property because I wanted to see the beautiful view. And it used to drive me insane raking up the leaves of the trees that left the leaves on the ground. So I chose a property that has no trees, so I don't have to do any more raking of leaves. See, we get to choose. May you have a life that forces you to look up or inspires you to look up or excites you to get out of bed in the morning rather than a bunch of negative people in an environment that you don't like? What will you do today to make your environment more exciting, more passionate, more interesting, more fun, so that your life can head in that exact same direction? Thank you for coming to Romax. My name's Rowie. I would love you to live life to the max, and I think it's pretty bloody hard if you're in a negative environment. So get your ass into a positive environment or create your own. Wouldn't that be awesome? Woohoo! I feel good. Na 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 na. Look at the snow. It's beautiful. And it forces you to look up. Woo!